Yo guys, what is up? Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Good afternoon. Happy New York session again. So everybody here who is here back on the stream, can everybody hear me loud and clear? And let me know if the audio is good and if you can see my chart. For the rest, everything should be working as normal. So super curious to hear if you guys can hear me. Okay, fantastic guys. Glad to hear. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Good to have us all back here on the stream together. Before we kick it off, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Always appreciated. Fantastic guys. Fantastic. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream. We're going to kick it off again with another live market update here from the charts, seeing what's happening and what we can expect for the rest of today. So we're going to just dive in straight away. We're going to start off obviously with EURUSD, one of the pairs that most of you love trading. EURUSD has obviously been in bullish order flow for a long period of time, pretty much actually since the beginning of this year. We can see that the overall trend on EURUSD has been in towards the upside. Now, I was obviously looking for some potential downside after we had these descending highs here made and we saw this choppy ascending price action. Got my hands burnt, took around 2 losses here, trying and attempting to get into those short positions. However, also got into some profit trades because overall, if we just simply follow the overall momentum and follow the overall order flow, you can clearly see that the overall sell for the buy here was in control. And once again, we had a sell for a buy here that was in control. And now pretty much the price action is getting very, very dirty where we have kind of like one big sell for the buy, but again, nothing really too clean. Now, what I'm really focusing on with these current market conditions or with the current EURUSD chart that we have here is moreover just on the fractal structure and also what the, let's say, the lower time frame swing structure is doing, being respectively the 4-hour time frame. So looking here at the daily time frame first, the fractal structure, we can clearly see that we had a fractal break. Here we have another fractal break. Here we have another fractal break. And at this point in time, this is currently the fractal low. This is currently the fractal high. Now on Friday, the market retraced in towards this area of demand that we have over here, which is your overall sell for the buy. And the overall order flow is still bullish. We can see that the market tapped exactly into that 0.5 fib retracement level, which is obviously the PVD, and it tapped into that daily demand zone, after which it continued pushing up higher. So there were some longs to be taken here on EURUSD towards the end of last week / beginning of this week, as we saw very beautifully that we tapped this 4-hour imbalance candle over here, which was in line with exactly the PVD, which was exactly in line with the 1-hour time frame. With the 1-hour time frame, what happened is that we retraced underneath these equal lows. So we took out liquidity, we tapped into demand. So remember from the previous live stream, guys, that we have the overall checklist. We obviously look at market structure, liquidity, we look at supply and demand, and then we look at the PVD. So in this particular situation, we have bullish market structure, we have liquidity, we have an area of demand, and we obviously have the 0.5 fib hit. So from this point onwards, longs are definitely on the table. And then what we had was that 1-hour market structure shift here with the fractal structure shift happening over here. After that fractal structure shift happened, this is then your overall fractal structure. The market again retraced into the 0.5 fib, and from there the market continued pushing up higher. Overall, there was a nice entry possibility to be taken here on Monday morning. Sadly, it was just a little bit too early for myself. But if you trade the 15-minute time frame, you definitely want to be in here. Where we had an area of consolidation, also known as the Asian range. We had the Asian range low. Asian range low got swiped at around 5:15 a.m. A little bit on the early side, to be very honest. But then here we had the first fractal break, here the second fractal break, and you can pretty much ride the breakout of those fractal highs in towards the upside. So some really clean price action there on EURUSD that occurred on the beginning of this week. Now towards the end or the middle of this week, we've been moving a little bit slower. Yesterday we saw this doji candle on the daily time frame. Nothing really too interesting trade-wise for EURUSD at the moment. I'm mainly sitting this out. As we can see, we've started to consolidate a bit. The overall initial trade position that you would want to be in was then obviously that 15-minute trade that we had over here. But for the rest, I would really say to just wait with EURUSD. Obviously here, this 4-hour demand zone is in control. Now we pretty much have this demand zone over here in control. but it's starting to get a little bit on the messy side of things. Preferably, I would wait for a little bit lower prices again if you want to still get into buy positions. Ideally, let's say the ideal buy position that you would want to be in would obviously be from, let's say, this range over here, and then look to get into buy positions if the momentum then shifts once again. So that's kind of like what I'm looking for. If the market does push down lower, get into some new buys. Otherwise, for now, sells obviously not also really a valid option, with the overall 4-hour and the daily market structure both being bullish. 4-hour time frame wise, you could look for longs, but then on the 1 hour, it's a little bit messy as well. I would say if you are looking for longs on the intraday time frame, the kind of like the next potential setup that could form is if you take out these equal lows that we have over here. So kind of like an aggressive V-shaped reversal buy back up. This becomes your demand zone, and then look for longs. That's kind of like the only setup that I see at the moment. And then you have like this internal market structure that you have over here with the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then a higher high. But for that higher low to form and to establish, we definitely need to take out these equal lows. So I would be looking for an equal low sweep before looking for those buys. So that's what I'm looking for on EURUSD for a valid buying opportunity. Now, for all my gold lovers, because I know half or more than half of you are all pretty much in love with gold, we're looking for a potential long opportunity. Obviously, we now have this area as our daily demand zone. This is your daily sell before the buy. Furthermore, we have the bullish fractal structure. We've retraced pretty much into the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So we have market structure in our favor, because obviously gold overall is bullish from a swing perspective, right? We have the overall impulsive phase, then we have the overall corrective phase, and now we're again inside an impulsive phase in towards the upside. So we're preferably looking for those buy positions. Now, looking for those buy positions, you then need what? You need the market structure. So then on market structure side, we have fractal and swing. So we have the swing in our favor. Now you want to be looking for the fractal to be in our favor. Well, the fractal is in our favor as well. So market structure wise, we are good. Then looking at the PVD indicator, then you can see that we're pretty much trading at the 0.5 Fib retracement level. So yes, PVD we have as well. Then we look at liquidity and obviously supply and demand. Now we're inside an area of demand on the daily time frame, but are we also inside an area of demand on the 4-hour time frame? Let's have a look. Well, on the 4-hour time frame, and let me just clean up the charts again a little bit, you can indeed see that we have an area of demand here on the sell before the buy over here. So we have this area of demand, which is ultimately a valid area of demand. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, you can also see that we have liquidity lows over here. The only low, however, still for myself, which I would love to see get taken, is this low over here. Once that low, because here we're creating equal lows for myself. Once that low is taken and we then see an aggressive V-shaped reversal up, that is when I'll be getting into potential buy opportunities on gold. Yeah, overall, I'll be looking to then buy gold. But pretty much before that, I won't really be looking to get involved with those gold buys yet. We're engineering beautiful liquidity here. So what I would love to see is here, aggressive sell-off, grab liquidity underneath this low, then see the change of character, get into a buy position, take out these descending highs, and then pretty much get out inside of this area of supply. That is kind of like where, or that's pretty much my overall game plan that I would like to stick to when trading gold at the moment. Hey Farsad, how are you doing? How's everybody for the rest doing, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and everybody's healthy. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream as always. Always highly appreciated if we can get some likes. For the rest, GBPUSD, let's have a look. So with GU at the moment, the thing with GBPUSD is that it has some very, very nice corrective price action overall. So you guys know I'm a big fan of the so-called 1, 2, 3. Here we have the first high, here we have the second high, and here we have the third high. So these patterns often, or more often than not, will push the market down lower. So I'm looking as well for this pattern to potentially push the market down lower. However, I must say that GBPUSD overall is a pretty messy pair. Looking here at mainly the daily time frame, we can obviously see that we're still inside bullish fractal structure. So your daily time frame is still bullish because one, you have the bullish swing structure right in towards the upside, and then two, you also have the bullish fractal structure, but also definitely the bullish internal structure. So from this low to this high, GBPUSD is bullish. And furthermore as well, the current fractal low to the current fractal high is bullish as well. The market has already retraced in towards the 0.5 fib here from a fractal structure perspective. Looking at the 4-hour time frame as well, you can then also see pretty much that we've just been trending up higher, slowly but kind of like up higher. So if you then want to take these kind of shorts, obviously a short position will always be more risky, as you're pretty much trading against the overall, let's say, daily order flow. However, it is definitely a viable option, as we've now seen a double fractal break in towards the downside. I'm also preferring a short here on GBPUSD to get some further downside, pretty much at least back down to this kind of like trend line over here before I see kind of like the market stalling. So favoring some further downside as well from GBPUSD, and I would like to see some shorts on there. However, keep in mind with your risk management strategy that the daily fractal is still bullish. So with this daily fractal being bullish here and the current fractal low being respected, the 0.5 fib being hit, longs are still on the table. But what do you then need for longs? You need the 4-hour fractal to shift in your favor. For the rest, market structure wise, also not very clean. Like, you can't even break above this wick over here. It's more just like a liquidity grab fueling the next move down. If there was like real bullish momentum, you would have wanted to see kind of like a candle close above it, like a strong breakout. So let's keep an eye on this. For those who are looking for longs, you would need to wait for the current fractal high to break, and then you could look for some longs again. If you're looking for shorts, then obviously now is kind of like the time that you want to get involved again. So then keep an eye on the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, price action has been quite messy, I have to admit. Overall you are however swing bearish with here swing break up, here swing break down. This is the swing high, this is the swing low. So obviously then, let's say the internal market structure, let's say you take this as the internal structure, and this kind of like makes sense to look for those shorts again. So yeah, I mean, 50-minute swing is bearish. Just keep in mind that the 4-hour fractal is also bearish indeed, so that's good for sells. Just understand that the daily fractal is still bullish. But yeah, for the immediate kind of like time frame, shorts make a little bit more sense than the longs. You just need to keep in mind that the higher time frame narrative is still bullish on GBPUSD. Let's see. So please, can you check the 4-hour time frame on AUD/NZD? So we'll have a look at AUD/NZD. AUD/NZD is one of those pairs on the 4-hour time frame that I preferably don't really want to be trading. With definitely the current market conditions that you're seeing now here. This for me is definitely kind of like a gamble position that I would be against trading myself. So I don't really see the opportunity here on AUD/NZD personally. So I would personally stay out of that. Let's see, we can have a look though at some other AUD positions. Myself also looking at AUDJPY. AUDJPY here has gotten a daily fractal break up. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we grabbed some liquidity. Yeah. Or was it NZD/JPY? There's some pairs that are looking good for a potential trade. Yeah. Yeah, so CAD Swiss, I'm interested in longs on this, by the way. I think that there is some potential for CAD Swiss long. Looking at this overall, I'm still looking for us to push up higher. Looking at the immediate 4-hour time frame, I really like what happened on that, on the Iran situation sell-off. Overall, we grabbed beautifully this overall low here. So for me, this is kind of like the liquidity swipe. Then after that liquidity swipe, we see the V-shape reversal back up. Here we have the initial 4-hour fractal break, second 4-hour fractal break, third 4-hour fractal break. This here is your demand zone, the sell for the buy candle. And I'm interested now in looking for some more longs on this to take out these descending highs, especially with the Swiss franc, interest rate cuts that we have. I think it's on Thursday. So looking for this to buy up a little bit more and to take out those highs. Obviously, it's going to be dependent as well on what happens geopolitically. GBPJPY, looking for potential shorts on this. The only thing that I've kind of missed out on is this daily supply zone. So I would preferably want to see GJ tap into that supply zone and then look for a sell-off again. For myself, on the higher time frame being mainly the weekly, GJ is pretty much in a range. Also on the daily time frame, we can see that GJ is in a range. Overall, we're just swinging in between this high and this low over here. What I'm now seeing is that the price has come back up in towards around the 75 level. In the past, we've rejected that level with a lot of strength here, 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 and pretty much also here. The lower bound of the range as well, obviously here, 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 here. So I'm looking for, again, a sell within this overall range on GJ. I'm also looking at some potential JPY strength as well. So what I'm looking for is for those sells to occur from pretty much that area of supply. I'll be monitoring the 4-hour time frame. For now, the 4-hour time frame is still bullish, right? Break, 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 break. And now we've retraced into demand over here. So I'll be looking to see, can we break that current fractal low? And then that could provide us with some potential shorting opportunities. Also looking at USDJPY potential shorts. However, no real confirmation as of yet on UJ. So yeah, that is UJ, no confirmation yet. Still waiting for the 4-hour time frame to kind of like align with any potential short positions. Yesterday we did see a 4-hour fractal low break, but it's more just a liquidity sweep, so it was again nothing really interesting to get into. So I would really wait for the current fractal low again to break before getting involved with shorts. Hey guys, welcome onto the stream. Bitcoin dumping, sadly, again, it is another day, another dump on Bitcoin. How long do you hold your trades for? Depends, some for 2 days, some for a few weeks. Swiss yen, yes, Swiss yen is a good one. Looking for a Swiss yen drop soon as well. Swiss yen is similar to GJ in the sense that it's at the top of its range. This is kind of like what I'm looking for or looking at on Swiss yen. Some kind of like range bound price action. I see some potential for it to drop again. I'll be keeping an eye. Pretty much we're inside of this weekly imbalance. So these two imbalance candles, that's your weekly area of supply. Also from a weekly perspective, we have pretty much liquidity above this high over here. So I'll be looking for somewhat of a pullback, at least back down in towards this area of demand over here. So yeah, for myself, some kind of sells make sense. We're seeing some slowdown. On yesterday's candle was an imbalance candle. Today's candle so far is also an imbalance candle. Coming into this range that we have over here. So I'll be looking for some shorts very, very soon on this. All we now need is the current fractal low to break, and that could provide us with a shorting opportunity. So that's what I have for Swiss yen. AUD CAD is indeed also a potential short. Really like what we're seeing there. I would also be looking for shorts. I was actually looking at entering maybe a short on this morning. Now I see that it's starting to push. We can see here that the daily fractal is bearish and that we are inside of this daily imbalance candle. So this daily imbalance candle has the potential now to push the market down lower, in my opinion. The Canadian dollar is relatively strong. The Australian dollar is dependent on the Chinese economy, which is relatively weak at the moment. So what we can now clearly see is that we have the area of supply. No real liquidation to move down. Initial reaction down has now been liquidated with this wick. So this is now the push that we're getting down. If you want higher probability shorts, then I would say wait for the 4-hour fractal low to break and then get in on the short on the next retracement. But that has potential indeed as well to start selling off. So I like AUD CAD as well. USD CHF is also a pair that I discussed yesterday. It's at very, very, very low prices at a key level of pretty much support. The lowest that it's been in a very, very, very long time. Pretty much every single time that we get here, it gets bought up again. So I am looking for price to rebound from this level. Let's keep an eye. 4-hour fractal is bullish. What we can see here is that we had that aggressive sell-off at the beginning of, pretty much like last week or last 2 weeks. Now we had the 4-hour fractal shift here. Then you can see market retracing to 0.5. This is now pretty much demand, so I'm looking for this to push the market up higher. If this breaks, then we're going to be a long way from home again. But for now, this sell for the buy should push the market up higher again. So I'm looking for that to happen and eventually take out these descending highs. Thursday is going to be interesting again for the Swiss franc, as then we have the interest rate decisions. Sarab is talking about Euro NZD longs. Thank you for the donation as always. Appreciate you a lot. Let me just quickly check Euro AUD. Interesting. Euro NZD is So yeah, Euro NZD is obviously from a weekly perspective inside an area of demand over here. So yes, that makes sense for longs. Then if we go to the daily time frame, daily fractal is also bullish. Looking at this is the fractal structure. It retraces to 0.5. The only thing is that obviously the daily demand is pretty much over here, but as we know, the market doesn't need to retrace all the way into that area of demand. So you can also keep an eye on the 4 hour. From a 4 hour perspective, I'm missing some form of demand. This is obviously demand zone over here, which is still fresh and unmitigated. I'm now looking for pretty much just the buy up, boom, boom, boom. This or obviously another push down and then the fractal breakup. Those could be potential longs for Euro NZD. I think it's just a little bit too early, but after some time, if a strong support base is formed, then there would be potential for it to start pushing. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. Gold we already discussed, guys. Euro CAD. Euro CAD is a tricky one at the moment with the Canadian dollar and the euro both relatively strong. The thing that I have though with Euro CAD is that it does have some potential for some lower price action. Here we had a grab of the highs, so we can clearly see here that we grabbed this internal high here and straight away there was a reaction. So this is what I mean with like a range high, right? So this is your area of consolidation above the range high. That's where liquidity lies. The market grabs the liquidity, aggressive reaction in towards the downside. Going into the 4 hour time frame, we can then see that the market has now been pushing down lower. 4 hour fractal is still bullish, but we left behind a lot of ascending lows. For myself, EuroCAD is one of those pairs that is not ideal at the moment to trade, as let's say you had these equal highs still open, then it would have been a better long position from these levels. But now that you've already taken out the liquidity, the Canadian dollar is also relatively strong with oil prices rising. You're kind of fighting two strong currencies at the moment against one another. So a pair that I've been personally looking at was GBP CAD sells. That was definitely a pair that I found more interesting. We had the manipulation here above this high, which is the high of the 3rd of April. The high of the 3rd of April gets taken out. Once that high got taken out, the market started to reverse again in towards the downside. Now we have bearish price action here on the daily time frame with the daily fractal remaining bearish and pushing the market down lower. So I'm looking for continuation trade in towards the downside here on GBP CAD and looking for some further sells. With the pound weak at the moment and the Canadian dollar being strong, I think there's still some opportunities for the Canadian dollar to sell off. But one of the better pairs, I would say, or the better pairs, not necessarily good or bad, but a better pair in my opinion would be AUD CAD with a very clear daily fractal bear structure and also a nice liquidity grab here on the 4 hour time frame. Fabio, how do you know if a currency is a risk off or a risk on? Well, you have, generally speaking, the currencies themselves. So obviously we have the Canadian dollar being a risk on, we have the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, and then yeah, pretty much just start there with risk on, and then risk off would definitely be the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, and traditionally speaking the dollar as well, and gold. And then in current market context, you can kind of like see the euro more as a substitute for the US dollar. AUDCHF is also a pair that we can look at. Let's see. So the Australian dollar against the Swiss franc at the moment. So obviously we've moved a little bit lower now. Now these pairs are, from my opinion, like an AUDCHF sell is not interesting. For me, this was a nice grab of pretty much all of the lows. So all of the lows have now been taken out. I see some potential for it still, again, to push up higher. I'll be looking as well at some higher prices, though I don't think a sell, like I could see a short-term sell in here, but I would be ultimately looking for some more upside from AUDCHF. Just because for me, we haven't made any connection with any supply zone. This for me is kind of like a fake high, so I would like to see kind of like the market move up again. I would say this is like your sell side liquidity, this is like your buy side liquidity. So looking for some higher prices from AUDCHF. So that's what I'm looking for that. Then obviously we have the euro against the Japanese yen. So the euro against the Japanese yen has pretty much exceeded all expectations and again pushed up higher. Now it's getting into a very interesting area of price where we are nearing, let's say, this buy before the sell. I don't think we've tapped into it yet, no. So we're getting into this buy before the sell here, which is ultimately the most interesting area of supply. On the daily time frame as well, we're getting into an area where we are nearing these equal highs. So for myself, I think the most interesting short is from this level of like 168. But pretty much from current price action, you can already start looking for a correction. I think this move is overextended, so I'll be looking for a potential short very, very soon, either after grabbing that liquidity, then look for the short, or already if we see the lower time frame start to shift, then we can also start looking for those shorting opportunities. I'll be keeping an eye on the 4 hour, so mainly be looking to see if we can get some nice double 4 hour fractal structure shift. You know, the 4 hour market structure hasn't been very clear or hasn't been very clean. What I'm now mainly just focusing on is the daily levels, and I think that the current daily levels are definitely very interesting to look for a potential shorting opportunity from. So I wouldn't be looking for longs myself, but mainly looking for shorts within kind of like this price region of 167 to 168 myself. So yeah, looking for potential correction on that. Do you close your trades of the weekend? No, I hold. Jordan, I discussed your yen, brother. I hope you are doing good. GBPUSD, what can we see from that? So G-Swiss pushed down lower. Again, lower than I would have liked to see, but as long as pretty much this low over here holds, I'm still interested in seeing this push up higher. For now, I would say the internal market structure is still bullish. So we get the push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, correction. And I'm now looking for the next push up. We grab the liquidity underneath the equal lows here. So I see this pushing up higher still. I'll be looking at the 4 hour time frame to see if we can get a 4 hour structure shift. So break off the current fractal high and then start pushing in to take out these descending highs. That is currently what I'm looking for on GBPUSD. So gold is still not ready for any trades, I see. Gold still needs to push down lower for myself to become interesting. Take out this low and then I'll look for a long. But from here there's a no trading zone, so still waiting on gold. And then we obviously have as well EURUSD. Now it's 3 o'clock. EURUSD starting to push down lower, which is nice. This is what I wanted as well. So I will definitely kind of wait for this low over here to get swept around 1.15400. Let's see that get swept and then see what the reaction is to that level if we want to take any longs at all. So I would say let's wait for that before getting involved with anything. For the rest, 4 hour, the daily, all still bullish. So obviously shorts don't really hold any substance to them. So I'll be waiting for liquidity to get grabbed before getting involved with any potential longs at all. This here is a strong area of demand as it liquidated a prior low or prior lows. So let's wait and see what happens. Once the market gets in towards that, you need to see the market structure shift and you need to see momentum start coming into the markets to look for potential longs before getting involved at all. Because obviously the daily fractal is still bullish. The 4 hour fractal is still bullish. So you're kind of trading against the trend. But all I can say is that the 1 hour is a little bit messy. So you really want the liquidity also to get grabbed before even looking or thinking about any longs. So definitely no longs available for myself. Then AUD/USD and NZD/USD. Fabio, looking at the global situation, why gold is not going up? Because there are de-escalations at the moment. AUD/USD start to sell off a little bit. As we can see, we're at a very interesting level where we grab massive liquidity above this high. This is the high that I've been anticipating for a very long time. I'm now looking for some bearish confirmation. There's not a lot of bearish confirmation yet, as the current fractal low is kind of like over here. So yeah, I am looking for a correction on AUD/USD, but I don't have any confirmation yet. And NZD/USD, this is still very bullish, and I'm still kind of looking for a little bit higher prices before looking for any potential correction. But obviously, if AUD/USD corrects, then NZD/USD will likely correct as well. But overall, still looking for a little bit higher prices before looking to get involved with a short opportunity. So yeah, pretty much that. When are you launching that indicator? Keep an eye on the announcements channel today. I'll drop an announcement in around 10 minutes, and there will be some information on there as well. Guys, one thing I want to discuss with you as well that I've been thinking about is hosting these live streams on Discord instead of on YouTube. What are your thoughts on that? Can everybody maybe leave a, let's say, vote on the poll where to host live streams, and I'm going to post either Discord or YouTube. The reason being is because I feel like we have a lot more engagement, or the potential to engage with each other within Discord as opposed to on YouTube. But obviously with YouTube, we also have the opportunity to, yeah, let's say, reach new people yeah, this. Okay, so we now have 69 votes. So I see a lot of people still voting for YouTube. So we have around 70% on YouTube. Why is YouTube better, guys? The reason for Discords, guys, but like if we would do it on Discord, then I would record it. If we would do it on Discord, we would record it. And then we could post it on YouTube. But I just want to like host it on one place. Okay, so let me do the poll again. And then what I want to ask you guys, well, maybe I'll do two. So what I'll do is maybe on Tuesday one, and then on Thursday I'll do on the other. So start a poll. So Discord, and then with recording, vote. So Discord with recording or YouTube normal. And also, guys, do you have any ideas what you would like to see inside Discord? Because we're currently working on improving Discord, improving the Discord environment. How can we improve the Discord for everyone? What are the things that you guys want to see from us? Still YouTube. Okay, interesting. Then we'll definitely have to keep posting them on YouTube as well. But what I'll probably just do is just maybe we'll do like the YouTube stream on Tuesday, and then, for example, the Thursday stream on Discord, or we'll just do both of them on YouTube. We'll just see. Well, guys, what do you want inside Discord? That's the next question that I have. What are the things that you're still missing inside the Discord server, guys? More breakdowns. Yeah, I understand what you mean with Discord not being user-friendly always. More breakdowns, like top-down analysis to the reason for taking the trade, a futures channel, maybe more input, education, sheets, more market updates, even more market updates. Okay, good. A meme channel. Okay, we'll get that underway as well. All right, guys. A lot of trading channels are trying to move away from streaming on YouTube for some reason. All right, guys. We're going to continue the discussion on Discord. So make sure, if you're not inside Discord yet, to join in. A paid section for X amount per month. Okay, Leo, got it. Guys, make sure to join in on the Discord. I'll share some good new fundamental updates as well there, and some more charts. Want to thank you all again for tuning in, and I'll see you soon, guys, inside Discord. Thanks a lot, and the next stream will probably be inside Discord. Thanks, guys, and see you soon.